Here comes another cat. I'm just the crazy cat lady today. Hi, Sharkbait. What? Meow. Meow. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Izzy. I am a mom to a 2-year-old boy named Benjamin with number 2 baby girl due very, very soon. I'm gonna try to get this video up before she gets here, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, this will be my third and final pregnancy update video. A lot has changed since I last sat down with you guys for an update video, and a lot of things are kind of unexpected for me. So we're just gonna go into like some of the symptoms that I've been experiencing. Biggest symptom so far has been what I have been told is round ligament pain. Now that I know more details, I think it's more than that just based on her positioning. I started getting a lot of pain in like one specific hip joint. Let me just phrase it this way. I think this is my most painful pregnancy so far, and it makes me really sad that I can't really enjoy my pregnancies like a lot of other women can. It just sucks. Like I don't feel very confident about my body. I am in constant pain. I can't sleep. It's a hard pregnancy this time around. It's been pretty darn hard. So round ligament pain started, and it wasn't like really like in my belly, but more so in my hip joints. It was on my right side only for a while, and now I feel it both my right and my left, and then in my lower back. It started as just like a sharp shooty pain that would last a couple of seconds, but now it literally feels like a Charlie horse in my hips. That takes like anywhere between 5 to 15 seconds to stop. My OB says it's round ligament pain. I don't think it is. It also radiates down like the back of my knee, and that same like tingly feeling when you hit your elbow on your, like hit your funny bone. I feel that down my legs, and my OB seems to think it's round ligament pain. I don't think so, but whatever. My Braxton Hicks that I was feeling in the second trimester, they've definitely carried over into the first trimester. They've gotten a lot stronger, and they've now turned into like timeable contractions, which is really not fun. With my firstborn, I went into preterm and prodromal labor at like 29-30 weeks and had literally contractions like every day up until the day he was born. With this one, they didn't really start having a pattern until I hit like 32-33 weeks. And at 33 weeks and 3 days, I actually went into labor and delivery because I had contractions that were lasting a minute long every like 3 to 4 minutes apart, like almost on the nose. And that went on for 2 hours while I was at work. With my son, I didn't really get to experience like real contractions, like ones that I had to breathe through. I had contractions, they were very uncomfortable, but I could talk through them like I'm talking to you now. It was no problem at all. With this baby, I started feeling contractions, and they were strong enough to the point where I had to like breathe through them with like no distractions. I never got to that point with Ben. So this was I don't remember having to breathe through contractions, and that's what I was having to do at work, laying down on the couch in like the front of our store, trying to breathe through contractions and stay focused and have customers try to talk to me was just like maddening. I went in after like 2 hours of just consistent contractions. That was hard to say. I'm glad I did, because they were not stopping. They were getting worse. They had to, oh gosh, they used 2 different types of medication. One of them was like a pill that you took. And it said it could fuss with your blood pressure rate pretty easily, and mine like tanked, and then I felt like I was gonna throw up. And while that was going on, they were trying to get an IV in my arm because they said it seemed like I was a little dehydrated. It took them like 5 tries to get an IV in my arm, and I don't do well with needles or any of that. I have very, very small wrists and very tiny veins, so that whole experience was just very painful. I cried, I almost threw up. it was not fun. And then finally they gave me the medication to help stop contractions, like the one that it's just like a shot. And that got them to stop. But I mean, we were there like 8 hours trying to get my contractions to stop, and they were not stopping. Also, in my opinion, like, people might think I'm like nuts, but I think getting an IV is like worse than getting an epidural, in my opinion. I hate getting IVs. While they were, you know, they had checked me for dilation and everything like that, and then they brought in one of like the like portable ultrasound things just to see like where she was, because they thought they could feel her head down there, but they wanted to check her position to be sure. And that's when I found out that she is still breech. When I went in for the secondary ultrasound to be 100% sure that she is a she was also breech, and she has not moved. So her head is like up here in, like, I think I've dropped a little bit since then, but it's been like up in my rib cage, and she's got one foot like lodged in my pelvis. So every time she moves, and it would make sense to why I'm feeling this pain, but every time she moves, it feels like my pelvis is being ripped apart. It would explain the Charlie horse pain I get in my hip joints on the daily. Like, I'm in so much, like, no wonder I am in so much pain. The day that I went into labor and delivery, we were gonna go over to a local studio to do some fittings and like be at their open house. That had to be canceled. The day after that, we had, I think, like 5 or 6 girls come in for point shoe fittings that I was supposed to help fit, and I had to just, I mean, I still went in, but I sat and kind of orchestrated the event with my mom and our other employee. But that following Thursday, we were supposed to drive 2 hours south down to Idaho for another fitting, another big open house. And they said if I were to go into labor and they couldn't stop it, they would have to airlift me back to the inland Northwest. And I don't have airlift insurance. I guess that's a thing. But it's like so expensive to be airlifted somewhere. Oh my gosh. So they said, yeah, you're done traveling. Not even 30 minutes outside of the area, like, you're done. So there were a lot of trips we had to cancel, which really sucked. It's kind of put a halt on a lot of things, and especially with how much pain I'm in, things have just gotten really hard. I can't lift Ben without being in pain. I can't walk without being in pain. I can't sit without being in pain, or like even laying down on my sides. I am now at weekly appointments with my OB just to check and see if by chance she's flipped. We did kind of, I mean, I think I still have the footage here of me finding out that if she doesn't flip, I'm going in for a C-section, which was honestly a shock. They could do like the EVC something, I can't remember, where they try to manually flip her, but that comes with so many risks. It could put baby in distress, it could decrease her heart rate, it could cause placental abruption. There are all kinds of different things that could go wrong by trying to manually flip her. And usually what you do is you go into the hospital, you're treated like you're going in for an emergency C-section pretty much, because if it goes wrong, you're going to have a C-section that day. So like you get a spinal and everything, like the whole 9 yards. And that just sounded like a bit much. That sounds very overwhelming to me. And I also didn't know this until my last ultrasound, like last week, that I have an anterior placenta this pregnancy. And then my OB did finally say, you know, oh, with an anterior placenta, you know, there is a higher chance of it detaching while trying to do this procedure. And it only has a 50% success rate, so why put myself through that if there's only a 50% chance it could work? There are more complications than not, and more than likely she would flip back to being breech. At this point, I think we're just gonna wait it out. If she doesn't flip by the time I'm at 39 weeks, it would be October 11th is when we would go in to have our scheduled C-section, which is what I was not expecting for this baby. There's something a little bit different about, like, I don't want to say like I have a birth plan, because I don't. The goal is to have a baby and that is it. But I always kind of saw myself as having all of my babies vaginally. So again, it was one of the situations of, you know, the word C-section being thrown around was kind of spooky. At first I was really upset about it because the recovery is so much longer than a vaginal birth. But if she doesn't flip, it is guaranteed C-section. So I've had to like repack my hospital bag. I've had to like redo how I'm doing things in this room for when she gets here. Luckily I have the bassinet I now have. I don't have to bend over and get her out of when she does arrive, so that'll be really nice to have this time around. Oh, I also have low amniotic fluid. It's still within the normal range, but it's on like the lowest end of the normal range. I don't know if that was caused by my food poisoning I got food poisoning when I hit 35 weeks, and I've never been so sick in my life. It lasted like 24 full hours and I thought I was dying. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm prepared for everything. I'm prepared for a vaginal birth from my hospital bag and for my cats to be in this video. I'm prepared for a C-section. I'm prepared to stay in there 1 or 2 days. I'm also prepared to stay in there for as long as 5 days. The car seat is installed in one of the cars. I just need to install the other base in the other car, and then we'll just move the car seat between cars, whichever one we end up taking. I am pretty much ready. I've been nesting like a psycho person since my baby shower. Even before my baby shower, I've been mass nesting. I've still got some clothes to put away. I mean, the bassinet's built. I've got most of my stuff in my nightstand over here, and I can do like a whole like room sharing video if I can make it to that. But things are pretty much ready to go. Bottle sanitized, all of that. I was gonna do a whole video on that, but I just like panicked after I started having more consistent contractions because I don't want to be not prepared when or if I go into labor on my own and have to be driven to the hospital for a C-section. I want to have everything ready to go. So I guess we'll do a bump shot then. This will be the last, maybe the last time you see the bump. I don't know. Also, don't judge my pants. They're the only ones that fit right now. I sound like Regina George. These are the only things that fit me right now. Here's baby girl, all hanging out in there. Yeah, her feet are like down here, and her head is up here on like this side. Yes. I feel like she's dropped maybe a little since the other day, but I mean, who freaking knows? I don't know if I'll get any bigger than this, but there is 3rd trimester bump, 37 weeks exactly today. So again, this is the last probably pregnancy update that you guys have. And then Harper will be here. But yeah, so you should like this video and subscribe for more fun mom content. This is kind of what we're doing right now, is a lot of mom content. Just because there's baby on the way. I'm just anxious for her to get here in like the best way possible. I want to meet her, I want to snuggle her and feed her and all of the things. I'm just ready. I'm ready for her to be here, but I also want an October baby, and she's got 6 more days. She's got to make it 6 more days to October, and then she can come anytime she wants. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!